Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards about your future spouse or your life partner, whichever one resonates more with you, and what kind of person they'll be, what kind of spouse they'll be, what kind of partner they'll be, how they'll treat you, sort of like what's going on in the relationship once it's in that marriage stage, or at least in that true commitment stage. First stacks for you all to choose from today. We have this rose quartz heart, we have this celestite egg, this is purple flash labradorite, and lastly we have this clear quartz moon. So once again, choose whichever stack or stacks call out to you, and if you like, you can just scroll down to the description box or the comment section to click on the timestamps that are available to you, so you can just go ahead and skip to those stacks or stacks. And remember, the whole stack might not resonate with you, or the whole reading might not. Just take the tidbits that actually do resonate with you, and of course I send you good positive energy in hopes that everything you're hoping for comes through for you in perfect timing. So let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with our first stack here, we have that rose quartz heart. I've already laid out all the cards. We have the Knight of Acorns, which would be the Knight of Wands with action and drive. We have the Sun, Ten of Pentacles, Mother of Pentacles. This would be the Queen of Pentacles. The Knight of Coins, the Queen of Wands. We have Judgment, Six of Cups, and then these two are Oracle cards with Nas, Feel Loved and Proud, and we have Breathe. So we have a very interesting combination. We have 3 fire cards and 3 earth cards, which create a very good balance between sort of polar opposite energies. Normally when you see that fire energy, it means somebody who's like quick to action, or somebody who maybe doesn't put a lot of thought into things. It starts off strong, but then it fizzles out. On the opposite side, you have the Pentacles with that earth energy, and it's like something that really takes quite a while to get going, but once it's going, it never stops because it's permanent. So to have a balance between those two really show who this person is, like in their core. And I think it's a very well balanced person, and their treatment of you reflects both sides. So we see somebody who is completely putting 100% of themselves into the relationship. They want this to be permanent. They want it long lasting. Of course, future spouse, that's what we're seeing here, that permanent relationship, this long-term energy. But this person from the start, like, I honestly believe that this person sees you as either their soulmate or somebody who is meant to be in their life permanently, long term. So they work toward that, and that's what I'm saying. From the start, that energy is there, and they're constantly building toward the future. They're making sure that everything is falling into place so that this relationship, starts off just perfectly for the two of you. It's all about long term when it comes to who they are, like base. So it's making sure that you're on the same page, that you're really speaking clearly, communicating well with each other. You both know what you need out of life, where you're going in life, and what's, like the most important thing to you. So it's like clarity in the beginning, good communication. When we see the Queen of Wands, the Sun, the Knight of Acorns, those are all other energies of like putting in a lot of effort to make sure you feel that energy, to make sure you feel the connection, that that you matter to this person. So when it comes to building up the relationship, they have that earth energy, but when it comes to expressing their love for you, they have that fire energy. So you really do feel this person's emotion, this energy toward you. You can feel that passion, or that intense, when they're looking at you, when they're around you, that they care about you, that they're thinking of you, and it's always there. And I think there's more, not just, I feel like there's that soulmate energy, but I feel like there's a true strong connection between the two of you, almost like you're in sync with each other, or you're sort of like in tune on a higher level. We have the Six of Cups, and the Six of Cups is my favorite card because it represents longevity, but it also represents the more important thing, which is somebody who comes into your life to build you up, to help you succeed, to get you to a greater version or a higher elevation when it comes to your life. When it comes to everything you're supposed to do, this person betters you, improves you, it cheers you on. And the Six of Cups is that true love, that like once in a lifetime, the only person that will ever be like that person to you. And this is what's coming through, and I think there's clarity on both sides. So when it comes to meeting this person, I think you both feel it, like immediately. You both feel that energy, and that's why we have Judgment coming down. We have Feel Loved and Proud alongside it, of like it's there, very clear. Even with Breathe, it's just a moment of peace, right? So it's like you're both in this same almost like your energy just merges and you know what's right when it comes to this relationship. I think they're one who, since there is a slight cup energy here, since we have that side, you know, with the Six of Cups, I think there's almost like a cute romance to this person, meaning they do really like almost like adorable things, or like you really feel the heart when they do things for you, like taking you out, you know. It might be something simple like a picnic, or to, you know, the beach, or to the zoo, but it's something that you can tell they really put a lot of planning into, a lot of time into, to make sure that you can really feel the time between the two of you. It's all about that really like simple, sweet love that's represented within this person. And all of these cards have a very calm nature to them, besides having like that, you know, fire energy within the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Acorns, the Sun. Even there's a calmness because we don't really feel as much of an intensity. We almost feel like they have control over that intensity. So they seem like such a great person, such a great partner, and somebody who just wants to protect you, you know, like regardless of gender, it's somebody who wants to protect you, somebody who wants to watch over you. And think of like the relationship that you see in the Mother of Pentacles, the relationship you see in the Six of Cups, even in Nas here, that protection, that comfort, that knowing that connection is something that will, like, you know, never come along again. So it's like you want to just take advantage of the time that you have. And it's also longevity, because we see the Ten of Pentacles as you know, a long-term, like lengthy amount of time. But seems here like it's just immediately like you are family, you are somebody very important to them. There is nobody like you. There was nobody that will come along to replace you. And with honestly, with the way that Judgments come out alongside Nas, with Sun being that initial energy and the Knight of Acorns moving toward the Sun, feels to me like you're almost a relief for them. Like it's like they can finally be at peace. And we do have breathe there, which ties into that. Like it's finally just like a, I can let go, you know, I can be all right because this person is finally here. And even with the, like the Knight of Coins, right, the Knight of Pentacles, that's a long, lengthy journey to find the right one, to find the person that they're truly connected to, and then have that bond in the Mother of Pentacles, Nas, as well as the Six of Cups. So it took them quite a while. So I wouldn't be surprised if this person either was not in a relationship for a while before you, or wasn't in a committed relationship for a while. It seemed like somebody that might have just maybe separated themselves, you know, tried to figure things out. Or it could have been somebody who just went into a little bit of isolation to try to sort out life, get things on track, so that they could actually, like, you know, draw in the right energy that's you into their life. But they seem like they just really, honestly, like, I want to say spoil, but like spoil in a way that's not, you know, like negative, or like, you know, social media would portray it to be spoiled in a way that you feel like you are the only one and they love you like no other. But that's what I'm seeing here with this stack, the Rose Quartz Heart. And I do hope that some of that, all of that, was able to resonate with you or answer your questions. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Starting with our second stack here, we have this Celestite egg over there. I've already laid out all the cards. We have the Two of Acorns, which would be the Two of Wands. We have the Three of Shells. The Two of Acorns would be insight and focus. The Three of Shells is playfulness and bliss. That would be the Three of Cups. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Father of Pentacles. This would be the King of Pentacles. We have the Hermit, the Emperor. We have the Emperor again, and then the Lovers with Sacrifice, or what can you let go of, and Deep Knowing as our Oracle cards. So very strong Emperor energy, which is interesting because we actually have strong Earth energy too, very similar to the previous stack, where there is like an Earth and fire energy that were sort of like battling it out. And we have sort of similar disbursements of each, because we have the Four of Pentacles, the Father of Pentacles, the Hermit, that would be an earth sign. Then we have the Emperor, and the Two of Acorns, all fire signs. But it's a very good balance. I like the way that this is all coming out, because sometimes when the Emperor comes out, it throws me off a little bit, because I'm like, I don't really care for the Emperor's energy. Sometimes the Emperor can be a little bit of a, like, too much in their head. But then you realize the Emperor's counterpart is the Empress. The Empress is this wonderful person who is very well balanced, is very, you know, educated. She knows so much. So if the Emperor is coming through as somebody deserving of the Empress, we actually see somebody who's rather wonderful. So if it's coming out twice as the Emperor, I'm seeing this person as somebody who's very strong-minded, somebody who's very educated, somebody who's very knowing of a lot of things. But I feel almost like rather than having that sort of ego that the Emperor would normally have, this person's very reserved, doesn't really express it, almost has a calmness to them. Mainly because it is countered by the Hermit in the center. We do see that this person more like is less likely to express their intelligence. They don't want to exercise that ego. They want to really control it and be the good person, be the right person, be the person that people need and depend upon and value in their life. We see that with the Emperor too as well over here next to the Lovers. We see more so that that's the Emperor in the Lovers energy. So that is somebody who really wants to make sure that the person they're with feels love, like feels like they are the only ones that are getting their attention, that they are like they're almost like they won out in life by getting you in their life. You're something that came through, and it's almost something they can boast about. Like they can say, look at how wonderful this person is. I finally found someone, and it's like better than ever imagined. I think they're very proud of just being able to have the relationship that they have with you, that it's somebody kind, it's somebody smart, it's somebody who's well balanced, somebody who has a good personality, and that attachment or connection to you is something that's undeniable and something that makes them feel almost like they're reborn, like there's a new chance at life through this relationship with you. Now, there's an interesting part of this, because it seems like whatever way they were in the past, maybe that Emperor energy was a little too strong and they had to learn how to like lessen it or sort of diminish that fire so it wasn't so intense. We do see that in Sacrifice, What Can You Let Go Of, Deep Knowing. Those are two cards that require intense inner reflection to figure out what they're doing, what's going on in their head, how they need to reevaluate things so that things won't end up in disaster, possibly like it did in the past. And the Four of Pentacles is commonly seen as like holding on to something, not wanting to let it go. But here we see it move into the King of Pentacles, which is, balancing things out, focusing on everything, holding on to what is necessary and letting go. And that's reflected in that sacrifice, letting go of what isn't, important. And through that, we see the Two of Acorns making the decision to move forward. And then the Three of Shells to be this brighter person, this more positive person. So the person you're getting is somebody who does like to have fun. They're a serious type. I think they lean more towards serious, but they do like to have fun and they love to involve you in whatever fun they're having. They want to involve you, and they try to make it so that whatever they can involve you in is something that you want to be, involved in. So it's more so that they go out of their way almost to find events or places you two can go together so that you're just as happy as they are. They don't want you to feel out of place or uncomfortable, or like you'd rather not be there. They don't want to isolate you. If anything, they want you to meet their friends. They want you to be around people they know. They want you to be seen. They're very I'm not sure if it's like to show you off, because it sounds sort of bad, but I feel like showing you off in a good way is to say that whatever was in the past, they just want to show like, hey, this is the new, this is the better, this is the right with you. So they really do like almost like elevate you, the way that they see you. And it sounds like it's a little like maybe like too much, but I feel like their immense love for you and their clarity. Remember, because we have Deep Knowing and we also have the King of Pentacles, which is my favorite king because he's the most well balanced and he's like in it to win it. He knows exactly what he wants. He sets his eyes on it and he does not, waver. He doesn't go in any other direction than where he needs to go. So those two cards are saying this person's serious. This person knows what it is that they're going after. So it's not like somebody who's just like, in comparison with this past person, you're fantastic. They really mean it. They're like, I finally found the one. I finally found my Empress. I finally found my Queen of Pentacles, regardless of gender. It doesn't matter what you are. If you are male or you identify as male and you're showing up as the Empress, it just means that you're somebody who's really perfect for somebody else. Somebody who can you know, de-escalate somebody else's situation. Maybe if they're quick to an anger or outburst, or, you know, they get upset, you're the one that calms them down. You're the one that provides them with peace. And that's the beautiful relationship that's present within the Emperor and the Empress. You know, if you're coming out as the Emperor, if you're coming out as the Empress, you're balancing somebody else out, and in turn they balance you out. So you're providing what the other one is sort of like deficient in. You know, you're giving the other person exactly what they need. You're created for each other so that you both can be the truest, you know, ultimate forms of yourself. The only way you can get there, you know, the only way you can be that other person's counterpart is if you're also there alongside them at the same, you know, level, at the same status. And so we have that here as like that true counterpart. And even with the Lovers, representing those soulmates, those people that were guided toward each other, the ones that elevate each other up through thick and thin. There's this strength that's present, and it's happiness, and it's much more than happiness. It's a peace that comes through this. We see a nice balance going on, and deep knowing even has this peaceful energy to it, where it is the right relationship. You don't feel the toxicity, you don't feel the anger, you don't feel the, you know, resistance. There's, you know, not many arguments, there's no fighting, there's nothing that would cause excitement, negative excitement between the two of you. It's all about creating this bond and moving forward. It's a very, very good relationship that you two have. And this person's treatment, they're just very excited. They're very like, you know, here it is. It's finally here, this person, you know, and they want everyone to see it. So they take you around to everyone to show you, like, here you are. But that's what I'm seeing here with the second stack and the Celestite egg. Sorry. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. And I hope that at least some of that was able to resonate with you. Bye-bye. Starting with our third stack, we have that purple flash Labradorite. I've already laid out all the cards. We have the Magician with Willpower Creation, the Knight of Feathers, which would be the Knight of Swords with action and focus. We have the Chariot, the Son of Pentacles, this would be the Knight of Pentacles, the Ten of Coins, the Three of Swords, the Hermit, the Six of Wands, and we have Eunoia and New Life as our oracle cards. Eunoia says everything in perfect balance. So this has some similar energy to the previous stack, but it's coming off a little different. And I feel like this is more in tune with this person's true, like, I want to say psyche, but it sounds a little like, you know, typical to say. So I'm just feeling like we're a little more, we're seeing their thought process through these cards. With the Ten of Coins and the Three of Swords coming out, those are two very strong cards. Ten of Coins comes out as longevity, and I said that in a previous stack, and I can't think of which one it was. But Ten of Coins is forever. It's permanent. It's generations down the line. So we're really seeing that strong future spouse, permanent spouse. You know, like forever permanent partner, long-term relationship here. And this person's thoughts about that forever. You know, that wanting to be with you for as long as possible, you know, the rest of their life. And with the Three of Swords coming out next to it, this card in particular has a story that sort of separates itself from the standard Three of Swords. And one version of the story in particular is all about the sacrifice. And it's about a man who rescues a swan, and the swan turns herself into a human and presents herself to this man, and, you know, asks him if she can marry him, become his wife, and he says yes. And they're poor, but, you know, like, she's like, I can make us money if I weave silk, but he doesn't know where the silk is coming from. He doesn't know how she's making it. And one day he opens the door and discovers that she's been like cutting off her feathers to weave it into silk to support them. So it's all about this sacrifice and this heartbreak that's present there, but it's representing this person's almost like giving up of themselves in favor of this relationship. And it's interesting because it sounds sad, but in reality it's actually something very good, because we have the Chariot here That's something that seems so strong and so vibrant. But then on the other side, we have the Son of Pentacles, and it's something so sad and so dark. Same with the Hermit. It's something that's isolated and it has a sadness to it. But then we awaken into the Six of Wands, which is brightness. We have Eunoia, which is very, isolating, almost in pain. And then we have new life coming out. Even with the Magician moving into the Knight of Feathers, we have a great movement between these cards. So we see the difference between before you and after you, and the treatment that they have toward you because of what came before you. Before you just didn't seem like a good place for them. It could have just been a relationship. It could have been the stage that they were in life. But then you came and you brought them out of that. You give them that new life. You give them that warm welcome that's present in the Six of Wands, that excitement, that that feeling of like, I have somebody to live for, I have somebody to sacrifice for, I have somebody to be with. And it's like life has a new meaning upon your arrival. And it's something that I feel like is divinely guided here to bring you two together so that you both can enter a new stage with each other. But this person just is so appreciative of who you are to them, the energy you give them, the dedication you give them, the love that you give them, and they return more. It's like tenfold over what you give them. They're constantly trying to give you more, and they're constantly reminding you of how much they care about you and how much you matter to them, how important you are because of who you are to them. And I know this might be like an oddly specific message, and you might want to choose a different stack if this one isn't resonating with you. But for whoever this was made for, I feel like this is such a big change in this person's life, because they were all about like sort of getting certain aspects of their life together, but you were sort of that missing piece. You were that one that they were just waiting for, but they weren't sure when your arrival was coming, if they had like themselves delayed your arrival, or even if they're prepared for your arrival. But I think all along it was like just the universe and higher powers at work trying to unite you, trying to align you into proper positions so that you can be successful in this relationship. Right place, right time here, rather than something that might have created some hardships or some mistakes. But all this energy is just something that is just constantly moving forward, something that is almost like becoming more and more beautiful, if that's even possible. Is just growing and magnifying into something that's absolutely gorgeous. And this person's love for you is like the main source of this. It's almost like there's the sun. The sun should be here. We should see the sun in this assortment of cards, because I really do feel like that's the energy that's coming out. They just see you so bright, and like somebody that really like they were really waiting for, they were really hoping for to come through. And it's like, there you are, and it's sort of a combination of the previous stacks together. There's this similarity between all of them, but when it comes down to this one in particular, it's more so how they truly felt, like how they feel on the inside, what they don't talk about, what they don't share, what they don't display. Or maybe even like as they start their relationship with you, it might be something that they have a little difficulty with, being more expressive, being the loving type. And this could be just a message to say they want to be that way, and they'll be working on being that way. It's just something that they might have a little difficulty with at first, because they're not one to really show their emotion, or really be out there with that like love and connection. Might be something they're just not used to. If their previous relationships weren't the best, then it just might be hard for them to be very loving or vocal with their feelings. But you're definitely somebody that they celebrate, somebody that they they I think go out and tell everybody about you. They're like, you got to meet them, or wait until you finally get to meet them. They're really fantastic. They brighten up my day. They and like make a list of all the things that you do, because they're so appreciative of everything. They really seem to truly care about you. There's a really strong depth to this emotion that's present here. And regardless of what, if it's obvious to you, if you feel it, I think as the relationship progresses, I think it'll become more and more obvious. So by the time that you're married, or by the time that it's in that true commitment stage, I think you will be aware of it. So it won't be something that you're like second guessing or wondering like, when is this coming through? Or, is this even true? I think it'll be more visible to you, or at least more obvious. But that's what I'm seeing with this third stack and that purple flash Labradorite. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye. Starting with our fourth stack here, we have that clear quartz crystal moon up there. I've already laid out all of the cards. Starting over here, we have the Queen of Crystals with comfort and prosperity. That would normally be the Queen of Pentacles. We have transformation with transition and liberation, and that would normally be the devil, or not devil, the death card here. We have the Lovers, the Hierophant, the World, King of Cups, Knight of Wands, the Sun, Epoch, Pause in Your Journey, and Message in a Bottle. These are our 2 oracle cards. So we have a pretty good disbursement, and I'm leading toward this person being much different than the previous stack. So when it comes to your future spouse or your life partner, how they'll treat you, what kind of person they are when it comes to this relationship. We see somebody who's very well balanced, somebody who knows a lot, has a lot of clarity on things. Even with that clear quartz moon up there, that represents a lot of clarity, a lot of like knowledge when it comes to things, both real world and mentally. They have a lot of knowledge, a very deep understanding with how they work, how the universe works. I feel like this person might be on the spiritual side, or maybe they're just very like in tune with themselves. With the way this is starting out as a Queen of Crystals with transformation, or the Death card next to it, it's representing a new beginning in something that is now solid, something that is predictable, or at least reliable. So that's sort of how they see this relationship. They see it as like this new journey, this new take on life, or this new position with something that they know is going to last, something that is going to stay with you, something that is not easily taken or wavering. So it is something that's like hard to find for them, something that they've been looking for. I think if we're seeing death, right, it means that they had to put an end to the past, or maybe like a previous relationship, a previous stage that they were in order to move into this one where things are in balance. And that means where they can embrace what is right. And we're seeing your energy come through within the world as that like other half, the one that balances out these things. The interesting thing about the world is it has all 4 fixed signs normally represented within it. So you would see earth, fire, water, and air, with Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius all represented within that card. And they're the fixed signs. So it ties into that Queen of Crystals energy of like it's fixing itself into the right position. But we see what the response is as the King of Cups, a very loving king in the tarot deck, somebody who's very romantic, somebody who's all about like making you feel like romance is almost always around you, somebody who always has a way of expressing themselves to you, making you feel loved, or making sure you feel loved. And I think that's an important thing here, is they aren't just doing it to do it. They're doing it because they feel like you deserve it, you need it, like it is something that is important to the relationship. So they go above and beyond to express that to you. And it's something that they've had to almost like fight with. I think it's something that they had to work toward, and then almost like perfect, because it didn't seem like it was something they were good at before. Sort of similar to a previous stack, or something that wasn't quite easy for them, or something that they're unfamiliar with. If anything, maybe previous relationships, they just weren't very loving, or they didn't last long, so they weren't knowing how to proceed in a lengthy relationship. We do have the Lovers, we have the Sun, and those 2 cards are sort of like bookending this entire display, or this entire assortment of cards. And it's the brightness that you both bring into the other person's life. And I think through this relationship, you're both able to do more. You're able to do things that you put off, or things that you didn't think were capable of happening, or even things that maybe you thought, it's too late, that'll never happen, or not in my lifetime, maybe I wasn't meant for that. But this person comes along, and it's like you're finally able to just embrace it. And that's why we see the Sun as like embracing this. We see that vibrancy within the Knight of Wands, like this excitement, this power. Even with the Hierophant, it's like being given a key, an opportunity. And the best thing is with Epoch coming out here, we see somebody who's wounded, but through that, like, sort of like wounded energies, there is still so much life here. And if you really pay attention to the card, it is representing that in the worst of circumstances, there's still something that comes out of it. There's something that is still amazing. There's still an opportunity. And when you're through the storm, when you've made it to the other side, you're able to look back and say, it might not have been the best time, but here I am. I'm not where I used to be. I'm not in that place anymore. And this is the energy that this person has. It's like, it's no longer where it was. It's in this new stage. And if you're going through that too, where you're like waiting for this right person, or you're waiting for movement, you're waiting for signs, and you're like, where's this person? And you're tired of all the storms that you've been going through. This might also be a sign for you to say that, it's coming to an end. It's coming to completion. You're no longer going to be going through that storm. The right person is coming through. It was just a moment. Sometimes you need that pause to reevaluate things, to focus on what's going on, and to be almost able to sit calmly in yourself, in your own energy, so that you can see things clearly. Now, message in a bottle, I think, is sort of this person's love language, because King of Cups is coming out as underwater, and we have the message in a bottle. And for some reason, all I'm thinking is this person just really likes to talk to you, really likes to call you. They might, leave you nice little messages, text messages, or even like write you little messages and leave this like when you're together around the house and say, just thinking of you, or, I'm missing you. Hope you're doing well. It's just little romantic things that I think this person does. They just like, all of a sudden they think of you and they're like, I was thinking of you, and I just want you to know that. I just want you to know that you're on my mind, that you are something that almost like you never leave their mind. So they're just there to remind you that it's not something that comes and goes. It's something that's permanent. And with all of these things, it's very permanent. And I always find it odd when I see this Hierophant card right here. It's, for some reason, reminds me of the Tower. But, I have to think about it. Like, why does it remind me of the Tower? It's like, almost like it's giving you the key to freedom, or key to your new home once the Tower has happened. And it is connected to transform there. So we're seeing that this person is the one that comes in after the Tower, or you enter their life after the Tower moment, and you're able to provide them with like refuge, as they enter this new stage. And the new stage is you. It was like purely relying upon you. They had to get rid of the past. They had to move away from that so that they could embrace you. And it's so much love. And I think it's sort of like the world there. You two together. It's the world. It's that harmony, that completion that you feel with one another. A lot of love, a lot of just expression, a lot of just joy and happiness. But that's what I'm seeing here with this fourth stack and that clear quartz over there. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye.